All right, determine the factors of x cubed minus 12x squared minus 2x plus 24 by grouping. Okay, so usually you find the factors of a second degree polynomial by factoring and using cross multiplication. You can also find the factors by using the quadratic equation, but that's kind of backwards thinking. But for these higher degree polynomials, you can't really factor these easily, right? You can use long division, which I'll be explaining later, or you can use another technique called grouping. So grouping is a special technique that helps us easily find the factors of higher degree polynomials. And essentially what you want to do for grouping is you want to look for these terms. You want to separate these terms into 2, 3, 4 separate groups where you can factor out a common term. And by doing so, you can find the factors easier by doing that. And I'll explain by showing you guys. So let's see here. So we have x cubed minus 12x squared minus 2x plus 24. So how am I going to group these together? Well, I could group for ease. I can group the first two terms and then the second two terms, right? So, sorry, I can group this term, these two terms, and then I can group these two terms. So I'm not actually writing brackets into this polynomial. I'm just keeping a mental note of what grouping I can do too. You can also group this and this and this and this, or you can group the outside terms and the inside terms. It's whatever you want to do, right? But I find that this is the easiest grouping for me. Okay, so once we group it, right, we say for this first bracket, what is a term that I can factor out that will simplify this factor, or this group? I can factor out x. I can also factor out x squared. So let me try factoring out x squared, okay? So this equals x minus 12, right? What about the second group? What can I factor out here? I can factor out negative 2, right? So I'll factor out negative 2. So that'll leave this with x, and this will leave it to negative 12. So this and this are the same thing. I just factored out, I used the grouping to factor out specific terms. However, if you look at this term and this term have similar, can also be factored out. We're not factoring out a number or a variable, we're factoring out a combination of both. As you can see here, this 2 is being multiplied by x minus 12, and this x squared is being multiplied by x minus 12. So why don't I factor out x minus 12 for both of these? Right? So what do I get? So I factor out x minus 12 from this, I guess this first group. I get x squared. What about this? I get negative 2 if I factor out x minus 12. So we're left with x minus 2, x squared minus 2. And now we have determined the factors of this polynomial by this technique called grouping. We have found that one of the factors is x minus 12 and the other factor is x squared minus 2. Okay, so that is the solution to our problem. The junior tutor provides a similar solution. His final solution is providing the grouping, and this is the solution after you do the grouping. This is the factors, right? So this is actually the right answer, but he did the grouping to show us how to group it together. So this is the correct solution. This is a correct solution. Good job. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on